LeBron James wrote a letter to Africa's youngest president that shocked the world. A basketball icon reaching out to Ibrahim Traoré, the 34-year-old leader of Burkina Faso. But why? What you're about to witness isn't just about sports or politics. It's about how two leaders from completely different worlds found common ground in their fight against oppression. The response from Traoré wasn't just emotional. It created a movement that's still sending ripples across continents today. What connects a basketball legend from Ohio with the youngest president in Africa? The answer came in the form of a documentary that LeBron James watched one evening in his home. The film featured Ibrahim Traoré, a 34-year-old military captain who became the president of Burkina Faso in 2022. LeBron, who grew up with a single mother in the challenging neighborhoods of Akron, found himself drawn to the story of this young African leader thousands of miles away. The documentary revealed Ibrahim's rise to power after a military coup and his determined stance against what he saw as continued colonial influence in his country. For LeBron, who sat watching the screen in his living room, something about Ibrahim's fight struck a personal chord. Despite the vast differences in their lives, one a global sports icon with millions of followers, the other a military leader of a West African nation of 21 million people, LeBron recognized a familiar struggle against systems of power and oppression. Ibrahim Traoré's story isn't widely known in America. The documentary showed how he took control of Burkina Faso with promises to restore security and reclaim the country's resources from foreign interests. His leadership focused on breaking free from French influence, which has remained strong in the region decades after formal independence. Ibrahim began building stronger relationships with Russia and neighboring African nations, working to create a network of allies outside traditional Western partnerships. LeBron James has built his own reputation for social activism alongside his basketball career. He established the I Promise School in his hometown of Akron, providing education and support for underserved children. He has spoken out repeatedly against police brutality, worn shirts bearing the names of victims of racial violence, and supported the Black Lives Matter movement with both his voice and financial contributions. His activism has often drawn criticism from those who believe athletes should stick to sports, but LeBron has consistently used his platform to address social issues. The parallels between their struggles, though in vastly different contexts, moved LeBron to action. He wrote a letter to Ibrahim Traoré expressing solidarity with the young president's efforts to free his nation from outside control. In his message, LeBron drew connections between the fight for racial justice in America and the struggle for true independence in formerly colonized African nations. He acknowledged their different positions but emphasized the shared human desire for freedom from oppression. Why would LeBron James, at the height of his career and influence, reach out to a controversial military leader in a small African nation? The answer lies in recognition. LeBron saw in Ibrahim someone fighting against systems designed to extract wealth and maintain control. Systems that, while different in form, shared similarities with those LeBron has challenged in America. Both men, in their respective spheres, have positioned themselves against established power structures, arguing for greater self-determination for their communities. The letter was more than a personal message. It represented an unusual bridge between worlds that rarely interact in meaningful ways, between African Americans and Africans, between sports and politics, between American celebrities and African leaders. LeBron's gesture crossed oceans and transcended the typical boundaries of celebrity engagement in global affairs. As word of the letter spread through social media and news outlets, reactions varied widely. Some praised LeBron for using his platform to highlight international struggles for justice. Others questioned whether a basketball player should involve himself in the complex politics of a country experiencing military rule. The sports world buzzed with discussion about the appropriate role of athletes in political matters. Meanwhile, people around the world waited to see how Ibrahim Traoré would respond to this unexpected gesture from across the Atlantic. Would the young president welcome this connection or view it with suspicion? How would this unusual correspondence between two very different leaders develop? When Ibrahim Traoré received LeBron's letter, the reaction it triggered across two continents surprised everyone. The letter's contents spread like wildfire through social media platforms, creating an immediate storm of responses. People shared screenshots, posted reactions, and debated the significance of this unusual correspondence between a basketball star and Africa's youngest president. Within hours, the letter had reached millions of people in both Africa and America, sparking conversations in homes, workplaces, and online forums about this unexpected connection. The reactions to LeBron's letter varied widely, with many expressing admiration while others voiced strong criticism. Supporters praised LeBron for using his platform to highlight international struggles and build bridges across continents. They saw his letter as a powerful gesture of solidarity that transcended sports and politics. Critics, however, accused LeBron of overstepping his role as a sports figure. They questioned what a basketball player could possibly know about the complex political situation in Burkina Faso or Ibrahim Traoré's controversial rise to power. Some commentators wondered if LeBron fully understood the implications of reaching out to a military leader who had taken power through a coup. In Burkina Faso, young people found special meaning in LeBron's message. Activists like Amadou organized community discussions about the letter in local neighborhoods. These gatherings brought together students, workers, and community members to talk about what this international recognition meant for their struggle. Amadou and his peers saw the letter as validation, proof that their fight against what they perceived as continued colonial influence mattered beyond their borders. These discussions often extended late into the night, with participants debating the potential impact of this unexpected connection. African-American journalist Tanya Monroe recognized the importance of this story and made the decision to travel to Burkina Faso. She wanted to see firsthand how the letter had impacted people on the ground rather than rely on secondhand reports. Tanya conducted interviews in markets, universities, and community centers, gathering perspectives from various segments of Burkinabe society. Her reporting aimed to provide American audiences with a more nuanced understanding of the context surrounding the letter and its reception in Burkina Faso. Back in America, the letter sparked heated debates about the role of athletes in international politics. Sports commentators argued over whether LeBron should stick to basketball or continue using his platform for political expression. Some analysts suggested LeBron might be unwittingly serving as a propaganda tool for Traoré's government, questioning whether the NBA star fully understood the political implications of his actions. Others defended his right to express solidarity with causes he believed in, regardless of geographic boundaries. For Ibrahim Traoré, the letter created internal pressure within his government. Cabinet members questioned the strategic value of this connection with an American sports star. Some worried about potential backlash from their allies, while others saw an opportunity to gain international visibility. Ibrahim found himself navigating these competing perspectives while considering how to respond to LeBron's unexpected message. Tanya's interviews with local Burkinabe revealed something surprising, a deep sense of pride. Many expressed joy that their young leader had gained recognition from a global icon like LeBron. One elderly woman at a traditional market told Tanya, "It's as if he's telling the world, look at us." This sentiment echoed throughout many conversations, suggesting the letter had become more than a personal communication between two individuals. As social media debates continued and journalists analyzed every aspect of this unusual correspondence, Ibrahim Traoré carefully considered his response. He reread LeBron's letter multiple times, weighing the significance of his words. "I need to do this the right way," he stated, recognizing that his response would not only reach LeBron, but would be scrutinized by the world. The young president understood that his words would either strengthen or weaken this unexpected bridge across the Atlantic. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now back to the video. After careful consideration, Ibrahim Traoré wrote a response to LeBron that transcended typical diplomatic communication. The young president spent several days drafting his letter, wanting to ensure his words captured the significance of this unexpected connection. His response was deeply personal, revealing his thoughts about the challenges facing his country and the broader struggle against what he viewed as modern forms of colonialism. He thanked LeBron not just for reaching out, but for recognizing the parallels between their different but connected struggles. Ibrahim's letter included something unexpected, a formal invitation for LeBron to visit Burkina Faso. This bold move elevated their exchange from a simple correspondence to the possibility of a historic meeting between two influential figures from completely different worlds. The invitation represented Ibrahim's willingness to strengthen this unusual connection and bring global attention to his country's situation. It signaled that he saw potential for real collaboration beyond words on paper. Ibrahim emphasized throughout his letter how their shared experiences fighting different forms of oppression could strengthen resistance movements across continents. He wrote about African youth, dreams hindered by colonial legacies, and the renewed hope that emerged when voices like LeBron's recognized their struggle. His words highlighted how solidarity across oceans could amplify their individual efforts and inspire others to join their causes. When LeBron received Ibrahim's response, the emotional impact was immediate. He was moved to tears while reading the letter. Later, when speaking about the exchange, LeBron described Ibrahim's words as a testament of resistance that went beyond both sports and politics. He felt a profound connection to Ibrahim's struggle, despite the geographic distance and different circumstances separating them. The letter confirmed for LeBron that their fight against oppression, though taking different forms, shared common roots. In Burkina Faso, a cultural movement began to take shape following the exchange. Local poet Fatou organized events in Ouagadougou's Central Square, celebrating African resistance through poetry and music. These gatherings attracted hundreds of people, from students to elders, all drawn by this unusual connection between their young president and an American basketball icon. During one particularly memorable event, activist Amadou read passages from LeBron's letter aloud to the crowd, followed by Fatou's poetry that connected their struggle to a global fight for dignity and self-determination. Inspired by this ongoing exchange, LeBron announced plans for educational initiatives in Africa, beginning with Burkina Faso. He stated clearly, "This letter can't just be words. I need to turn it into something concrete." This commitment demonstrated how the correspondence had moved beyond symbolic gestures to tangible action. LeBron established a foundation specifically focused on supporting educational programs across Africa, providing resources for schools and communities with limited access to quality education. The impact of these letters continued to grow as schools in Burkina Faso incorporated the exchange into their curriculum. Teachers used the correspondence to teach students about international solidarity and the power of communication across borders. Young students learned how to articulate their own experiences and connect with others fighting similar battles in different contexts. The letters became teaching tools for understanding both local challenges and global connections. What began as a single letter transformed into a movement connecting young activists across continents. Social media platforms filled with messages of support flowing between America and Africa. Young people in both countries began establishing direct connections, sharing strategies, and supporting each other's initiatives. Online forums and virtual meetings allowed these activists to bypass traditional diplomatic channels and create grassroots connections based on shared values and goals. The exchange between LeBron and Ibrahim demonstrated how individual actions, even something as simple as writing a letter, can create ripples that extend far beyond their original intent. Their correspondence showed that authentic communication can transcend differences in background, culture, and geography when it speaks to universal human desires for dignity, freedom, and self-determination. The ripple effect of LeBron's letter and Ibrahim's response continues today across both continents, showing how a simple act of writing can transform into a movement. Communities in Burkina Faso and America maintain connections that started with this unexpected exchange between two leaders from completely different worlds. Their correspondence proves that authentic communication transcends political boundaries and cultural differences. As LeBron himself reflected after receiving Ibrahim's response, "This letter taught me that even separated by oceans, we're connected by our stories." He added the powerful observation that when we reach across oceans to connect with those fighting different battles but the same war, we become unstoppable.